Well, the NBA trade deadline is next week, and to absolutely nobody's surprise at this point, Giannis Antetokounmpo is in trade talks again. He, for about what feels like the fourth season in a row, is beginning to have conversations with Milwaukee as an organization and has released, or Shams posted this morning, saying that Giannis is ready for a new home. Didn't say he requested a trade, didn't say he demanded a trade, didn't say he wanted out of the organization. He said he wants to find a new home. I don't know why is it with Giannis that it's always sort of in between the lines? Like, you've got to read in between the lines to actually make sense of what he's saying. Like, if I'm Giannis, I'm walking into that front office saying I'm not happy with how the situation's going, change it around, change this roster, make the roster better around me, or I want out. You send me out next week, whatever you need to do, just do it. So the news came out this morning that Giannis is ready for a new home, whether that be in the trade deadline, which the trade deadline is next week. I think it's exactly 7 days from now or something like that, on the 5th of February. Or he goes to the off-season and then offloads him at the end of the season. Which, to be completely honest, the end of the season makes more sense because you've got more of a landscape during seasons of what your team looks like, what the future of your team can hold if you trade someone of Giannis's magnitude, and you kind of work out everything else with contracts and everything else. Because of the current situation with the Milwaukee Bucks, my only thing is there is not a lot of contracts on the Milwaukee Bucks that can sort of go out and find a superstar player and young pieces. Because as far as the Milwaukee Bucks organization goes, you have Giannis, who's on $50 million. You've got the $20 million contract of Kyle Kuzma. Or you've got the expiring $12 million deal of Bobby Portis. That's pretty much it. I don't think the Bucks, everything that they did to get Miles Turner, I don't think they would be willing to give up on Miles Turner so quickly. It's a cruel world and it's a cruel organization and everything about the NBA is all business, but I don't think they would move on from Miles Turner so quickly after they stretched Damian Lillard to get him on board. So that's literally all of the contracts that Milwaukee have to work with. So if you're trading Giannis's $50 million, either you look for a bunch of guys on rookie scale contracts on sort of, you find that second tier superstar that is sort of not making the max contract, and you sort of build off that. But you can't get a superstar player and young pieces because a lot of the time the good young pieces, they're on sort of $7 to $8 million contracts, and you can't really bend around them too much. Like, there would be so much money involved unless they made it like a big 5-team deal where one player goes to this spot and another player goes over here, and you kind of build off that. And I think if he was to get moved at the deadline next week, that would be have to how it goes. It would be Giannis saying that I want out of this organization now and I want to go. The Milwaukee Bucks get on the phone and talk to 5 different organizations and say, hey, are you interested in this 5-teamer? That's realistically the only way that I see Giannis going anywhere in the next week. Otherwise, even if he stays on the roster past next week, to be completely honest, he's got the calf strain at the moment and he guesses what time he comes back. I don't see Giannis really playing many more games to the end of the season. I think Milwaukee's nearly at the point where they are done trying to even compete. Because if memory serves me correctly, they're currently the 11th seed in the conference and they don't look to be getting any better. Kyle Kuzma was an acquisition that they made 2 years ago, and Kyle Kuzma's value as a basketball player is quickly dwindling. And Bobby Portis on expiring deal. Who knows if Bobby wants to come back next year. Miles Turner, for what they did to get Miles Turner on the roster, It's pretty harsh. Like, the output that they've gotten out of Miles Turner so far this season has been pretty cruel. I bet the only bright spot for me and the Bucks organization is Ryan Rollins. Obviously, Ryan Rollins turned up for basically nothing. You got him on sort of, I think it's a $3 million deal. He's their starting point guard. And he is absolutely killing the game whenever Giannis isn't playing. Even when Giannis is playing, sometimes he's having 20-point scoring nights. Yet Ryan Rollins has been the best part of this Milwaukee season so far. And that's really saying something. Because you've got Giannis on your roster, you're looking to compete for a championship every single season. Obviously, it's a small market team. There's only so much you can do in a certain period of time. But that whole organization, ever since they won the title, it feels like it has just slowly dwindled into nothing. Because the Milwaukee Bucks organization, there was tweets from Jay Crowder this morning saying that Adrian Griffin, who took over from Mike Budenholzer once he got dismissed from his role, they started the season 30-13. And they were the best record in the East. And for some reason, the Milwaukee Bucks said, you know what, Adrian, we actually don't want you here. So you sack a manager that has the best record in the entire association, bring on Doc Rivers, which a lot of people have a lot of different things to say about Doc Rivers. I will say that right now. There's people that absolutely adore Doc Rivers as a head coach, and there's some people that say Doc Rivers is severely overrated. Me personally, I don't know where I stand. I think Doc Rivers, as a system coach, like in order to build up an organization, he's a great coach. But I feel like the biggest thing that I can sort of pick from Doc Rivers is I don't know how good he is as like a personal coach. Because you see Giannis and Doc Rivers' relationship, it is gone. It's null and void. There is Giannis the other day, you saw photos and videos of him on social media. Giannis was not even listening to what Doc Rivers was saying. He could not look more uninterested, and he did not want to be there. As simple as that. So I don't know how good Doc Rivers is as sort of a bring the guys together, build a team chemistry. The basketball side of things, you can't argue about Doc Rivers at all. But the other half of the coaching job, I think, goes into personal relationships. And from what I have seen throughout Doc Rivers' tenure, I think that's where a lot of the harsh criticism comes from. Because he can't really build up his team to really have that chemistry. And I think that throws the team out a lot, and I think that's what threw Giannis out a lot. And the entire association as a whole. Best team in the league, you bring on Doc Rivers, and you were sort of mediocre for the second half of the year. And ever since then, it's been downhill. You've lost Drew Holiday, you've lost Chris Middleton, you're about to lose Giannis. Like, your Brook Lopez is gone. Every single piece of this Milwaukee Bucks core that won the championship a few years ago is gone. There's no one left. Giannis is the last man standing, and it's looking ever so likely every day that Giannis is not going to be there much longer. It really hurts to say because I don't know what Giannis's future is, but I thought Giannis was definitely going to be one of those guys that stayed on the roster for his entire career. Even through all of these trade talks, and because Giannis's name has been thrown in the mix for years and years now. We didn't know what was going to go on with Giannis, but this time it seems like something is actually going to happen. Just seeing Giannis's body language towards playing basketball for them, to the front office constantly being up and down. And according to Shams' report, the Bucks are actually listening to trade offers for the first time in the entire saga. They're actually picking up the phone and hearing out whatever people have to say. Which is good, because we needed something from this trade deadline. This trade deadline, we have had one major player traded. And he is yet to play for that organization. Trae Young has not even put a Washington Wizards jersey on yet. I just... because, according, there's a lot of sort of stuff going around the internet, and a lot of people believe that every single organization is waiting for Giannis. Because every single team doesn't want to waste their assets when they know they are a chance of going for Giannis Antetokounmpo. Two-time MVP, All-NBA first team for 1,000,000 years in a row, Defensive Player of the Year once upon a time. Like, he's still in his prime. He's a top 3 player in all of basketball. It's as simple as that. And nobody wants to waste their resources, because imagine you make a trade and then 24 hours later, Giannis is demanding a trade and wants to go to where you made the trade. If your organization makes a trade and then Giannis is like, I want to go there, the front office is left saying, well, we can't do anything. We've got nothing for you. And that, I think once we know more whether Giannis wants to go or Giannis is staying, teams will start to make a lot more deals. It'll be a lot of small-scale deals. I think Giannis will be the only name left in the conversations. But yeah, I think he's the last domino to fall. But yeah, that's pretty much it for today's video. It's pretty much just a ramble sesh, because we have had nothing to talk about with this trade deadline so far. It has been one of the most dead trade deadlines in a very, very long time. We haven't even had small deals be made. And a lot of that is due to the Giannis situation. And now that this story is broken, people think Giannis is actually interested in moving somewhere. It's only going to stay at a grinding halt until Giannis has actually moved somewhere. But we'll see how it goes. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, thumbs it up. Subscribe to the channel if you would like. That would be amazing. Short form content is a lot of my content at the moment. Making long form videos is no easy feat, so I'm trying to do it wherever I find the possibility. But other than that, continue to tune into the short form, engage with me, continue to keep the conversation going, because I love talking to you guys and hearing your thoughts and opinions, and it's the best part of making these videos. So thank you guys so much. Keep enjoying the hoops. I hope the trade deadline breaks a lot more news in the next week. I will be covering all of it. If it so happens that I have to make 20 shorts in one day just to report on all the different trades, so be it. I'm here for it. But yeah, without further ado, I will see you guys in the next coming days. Keep tuning into the short form. And you guys have a wonderful rest of your day and keep enjoying the hoops. Thank you, guys.